Nothing is more disturbing to a police officer, especially the police chief, than the discovery of a police employee who has violated their oath of office and engaged in criminal behavior. Thomas Contos violated the public's trust. He violated the trust of his fellow officers, and he violated the trust of this community, bringing the department into disrepute. For these reasons, I have terminated Mr. Contos' employment with the city. I will not tolerate employees engaging in criminal behavior. His conduct does not reflect the hard work and sacrifice of over 800 employees who serve on the Arlington Police Department. It does not reflect our community values, and this sort of behavior will not be tolerated. We continue to assist federal and state officials in any possible manner to further their criminal investigation. We have requested that all leads and potential criminal charges be vigorously pursued. It is important for the community to know that this criminal investigation takes priority over any administrative sanctions the department is considering. As the department receives actionable information from the criminal investigation, it will be carefully considered against city policies, and if further disciplinary actions are warranted for other employees, then they will occur. As the department begins to move forward, I am expanding the random drug testing program currently in operation within the department. Random drug testing is currently in place for all undercover officers and for those employees who are promoted. It will be expanded to cover all employees within the department. We will review the spectrum of drugs that are screened during the drug testing process to ensure it is complete and thorough. Finally, specific training will be developed to assist our employees to look for signs for potential steroid use in the workplace. As it relates to illegal use of crime information systems, the department will seek opportunities to strengthen our internal controls in this process. It's important to know that we are frequently audited by federal and state officials in the use of our crime information system, and we consistently pass each of these audits. However, this case demonstrates the ability of an employee who is committed to breaking the law and violating department policy to circumvent the control processes in place. We will seize this opportunity to strengthen this process in an effort to reduce the likelihood this can occur in the future. Finally, we're dealing with the loss of life in this department. Regardless of the circumstances, we are deeply saddened with David Vo's passing. We mourn the loss of his life, and our heartfelt thoughts and prayers are extended to his family in this very difficult time. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have of me.
What is the status of Craig Hermans right now?
Status of the criminal investigation is best answered by the FBI.
What's the status with Arlington PD?
As I previously stated, when we are given actionable information resulting from a criminal investigation, we will evaluate that against departmental policies and the law to determine the most appropriate disciplinary process.
Is the federal investigation tied to the murder of the Kennedale teacher?
No, there is no association with the murder. We put out a press release earlier today that a suspect is in custody, and that is purely a rumor.
Chief, is there a steroid problem in your department?
I think that that there's no reason, that there's no way for us to say that there's not a problem. We have 3 individuals, one of which has passed, one of has been arrested, and one is under investigation. It's something that I take very seriously, and that we will move to eradicate this from the department.
Chief, have you had any indication from the FBI how many other officers might be implicated in this? And also a second part of the question, looking back in hindsight, is there anything you think that maybe the department missed or could have seen with this steroid problem?
Scott, I think that's a very good question. I think it's a question that all supervisors and employees will be asking. Were there things that we could have seen? Were there things that we could have done? And the answer is, I don't know. But we will, as we move forward, look for those type of clues that we can abate this from happening in the future. As it relates to the information that I have relative to the criminal investigation, it's largely contained in the affidavit that's been released to the media. So that information is the information that I have.
Can you go back to his first question? I think you were probably hinting at, would there be more arrests? Possibly. Or do you anticipate more arrests?
I think that is best. I don't know at this point in time what the criminal investigation will ultimately reveal.
Is the department investigating anyone who might have helped Cantos look up information on the public databases? On
The
police
department
databases?
is assisting in any way possible and requested by the Bureau.
Chief, they apparently Conto shared some information about another officer that might have been on the drug task force. Was that officer an Arlington police officer?
I don't have any direct knowledge of who that officer was.
Okay. Is there anything being done to protect that officer's information? Obviously, it was given to a dealer, and there's been some concern about that person's safety.
I think the safety of that employee has been a paramount concern for those that are leading the criminal investigation and have been taken into consideration.
Chief, as far as the investigation into the death of Mr. Shreves at No Frills, is your investigation complete with the arrest of the person that was arrested today, or is there reason to look more into it? Because we know Mr. Shreves was an avid power lifter. Not making any inferences there, but it certainly warrants a question if there's any.
Well, I believe that you are, and I believe that I answered that there is no association between this event that we're discussing right now and the No Frills murder.
Chief, how much of a priority or a concern was the use of steroids among officers? Because it's been a concern in many other departments.
I think it's a concern to the community at large. I think it's a concern in professional sports. I think it's a concern for all employers. And certainly the police department is not immune from that.
Has much been said, was much said before this to officers about steroid use? Was it any kind of a priority at all?
I don't think that it was singled out as an individual topic. It was part of a collective conversation about illegal drug usage. But certainly there will be a need to have a singled out conversation relative specifically to the use of illegal steroids.
You mentioned expanding the random drug testing, but this was obviously going on, and as you mentioned, even as that testing was going on. Do you think that that will help solve the problem?
And none of the employees that we're talking about today were part of the groups that were subjected to the random drug testing. And so, yes, I do think that that will make a difference.
Chief, as far as the steroids investigation, is Arlington Police doing any investigating on its own, or are you being careful because this is an FBI case and you don't want to interfere with them and you're pretty much letting them handle it and cooperating with them?
We're absolutely cooperating. We don't want to do anything to frustrate the criminal investigation that they are pursuing, because if there are criminal elements that we can assist with to bring a successful prosecution to, we want to do that.
Chief, what's your commitment? Some departments who also have random testing, some of them have stopped just because it can get too expensive sometimes. Is cost an issue on trying to expand that program?
I think there's always a return on investment that has to be asked for anything that we do. But certainly that will be part of the implementation process, discussions, not the decision to implement the program.
Who was part of the testing, and why were they not part of the testing?
As I said, our random drug testing was limited to those employees who were promoted and those employees that were part of undercover operations, because they're most frequently around the type of illicit drugs that might lead to use. And so by expanding the program to all employees, our effort is to make sure that there are no gaps in the random drug testing program.
Just one more question, please.
In the criminal complaint, it shows that Contos apparently was delivered by this witness that has been working with the FBI, and he was in uniform in a marked vehicle. What is your message to the people who, in this department, received some of those kits?
My message to those employees that received those kits or are presently employees, if I find out that they are doing illegal drugs, they will be terminated.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.